Hello again, YouTube. Truth Man here. So, we didn't do Sunday sermon like I had planned. Something else came up. But we gonna get you some Sunday preaching right here. The Bible says that the Most High said that my grace is sufficient for you. He said his grace is sufficient for me and you. He said his strength is made perfect in weakness. So I'm going to be all over the place but on this particular subject. So what this means is you fill in the blank. You just got divorced. His grace is sufficient for you. His strength is made perfect in weakness. You just lost your job. His grace is sufficient for you because his strength is made perfect in weakness. The Strong's Bible Dictionary describes grace as unearned favor. So he's saying, listen, you can't earn his favor, but he's saying, look, I'm going to show you some favor. I'm going to give you some strength, even though I know you weak. See, sometimes that's why I would rather just humble myself than get humbled by the Most High. Because I've been humbled by the Most High a couple times. I remember I used to think I was God's gift to preaching. And the ministry just did not take off. So now when I always preach with the right motive. But now I really do. It's all the way the right motive, because I've been in situations where I was preaching to myself, basically. But that didn't stop me. And that won't stop me. It did show me that, there's other things in life that I need to focus on. Because, and there's a lot of you preachers out there that's dealing with this right now. Like, you ready to give it all up to preach. Don't quit your job, man. Preach with your job. Preach with your business. And here's why. Because these people, half of them, the majority of them, don't listen anyway. Why should you inconvenience your family? If the Most High wants you to preach and have it that easy, he'll make a way for you out the gate. But and I'm speaking from experience. Like, you keep your family, and don't inconvenience your family to preach to these other people. Your family come first. Somebody that's gonna hear this, if you know somebody to think about quitting their job, or if it's you, it's coming from the prophet. Don't do it like that. Get your money right. Get you a cushion where you can still pay your bills, still keep your standard of living, and then go preach. In the meanwhile, find ways to preach and keep your standard of living. What would be the point? In a world where people barely even change organs, say, to just inconvenience your lifestyle and yourself to talk, to these people. What would be the point of it? His grace is sufficient for you. His strength is made perfect in weakness. Strength is made perfect in weakness. So, if you a person, you focus too much on getting into a relationship. Maybe you're trying to be like your daddy. Maybe you're trying to be like your mama. You got to understand, this world is different. His grace is sufficient for you. You don't need a husband or a wife, you need the grace of God more than any of that. Because if you put that in front of him, now you in the idolatry phase. And you all know, if you read the Bible, you know what happens to idolaters. Their part shall be in the lake of fire and brimstone. So let's keep this relationship stuff where it belongs. If you're a man, recreation. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to have no wife. You better recognize that it's not no easy pickings with either. Your kids get hurt. Kids get bullied at school. Kids be going through emotion just like she will. What you gonna do if your kids are good kids and no other kids want to play with your kids? You know that's gonna affect you. When you see kids dogging your kids up. So I remember, I can think of a couple occasions where I dealt with this. Boy, do it sting. So we used to take our kids to the park. Our sons. This was before the twins was born. And even a little after. Because they wanted to play with other kids, right? That didn't always go so well. I'm going to tell you about a couple situations. One time, my son, my older son, was playing baseball with some kids or something. I think that's what they was doing. And me and my wife was like, let's just go. Because those kids, it seemed like they all knew each other or something. And it's like they was trying to treat him like he was invisible. He don't have that problem at all anymore. Everybody love him. But some of them kids just wasn't playing right when he was little. So that was one time. Another time, I guess he was real young. I think he might have been 5, 6 maybe. We went to another park. And I guess one of the kids got mad at him because he wasn't playing tag right. You know, he wasn't playing tag right, because you got to realize, like, when that happened, like, we used to take him to the park, but that was when we first started, like really taking him to the park. So after that, I played tag with him and his brother, and so they learn how to play tag. Mostly, it wasn't no problems, but I'm telling you, man, sometimes, like, I remember, oh, man, he get mad when I bring this up, but I remember we was in Mississippi. We used to always go to Mississippi, right? And so it was this Christian kid, you know, that's when, before I had this wisdom, I was in that shallow Christianity wisdom. So it was this Christian kid, right? And I guess my son got in trouble for something, and his mama told him when we get home he couldn't play the game. And that's when he was just starting to get into video game. He trying to explain himself like, what? You know. And so the kid just kept trying to hug on him and stuff like that. You know, because they was playing with him and stuff. And he slung that kid to the ground, man. He's like, move, man. And the kid was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm sitting there trying to explain to his father. His father looked like disappointed, because his father was happy at first that his kid had somebody to play with. And then when he slung him to the ground, I was like, man, he didn't mean nothing by it, man. He got in trouble for something. I'm explaining, to the other guy why his son got slung to the ground. So, I mean, I'm giving you that as an example, like with the other guy. Like, y'all think this stuff with these kids is just gonna be all fun and games. It's gonna be a lot of fun and games, but you know, it's not gonna be all fun and games. Like, I remember when we still used to celebrate Christmas, man. That used to be a lot of fun with the kids. Like how just watching my sons, I just used to watch them squirm and just can't wait to get up and open their gifts. But what's weird is when we explained to them why we wasn't gonna celebrate it no more, they understood and they took it. You know, one reason is because they know it wasn't gonna stop them from getting nothing, but you know, I still listen to Christmas music and stuff like that, and I like the vibe, the Christmas vibe in the air, and all the lights and stuff like that. But I got my reasons for not celebrating Christmas. But through all this, he's saying his grace is sufficient for you. And his strength is made perfect in your weakness. You don't got to be suicidal. His grace is sufficient. His strength is made perfect in weakness. And recognize and understand that life is long. And there is no end to life. You just pass from one life to another. So don't let this stuff down here, and y'all hear me saying this a lot, don't let what we endure in this temporary earth affect you in your everlasting kingdom. Don't let it do it. So you gotta be no matrix. You gotta be the type where stuff gonna get on your nerve, but you gotta be able to fight through it and bounce back from it. And you gotta enjoy this life, man. It's worth living. It's worth living. You know, while I'm on this side of life, I'm still gonna enjoy it. Because it's worth it. It's worth living. If you think it's not, you don't let negativity sit in and you're not really understanding the way life works, because everybody can find something worth living for. The people who act like they can't, it's because they don't want to. There's so much to do, so much to see, so much to eat. I'm loving it, man. And I know it's gonna be even better once I'm like a successful entrepreneur, where I'm making money hand over fist, and I can just do whatever I want with my days instead of having to, having to ask for permission to get an off day. And that's how they take our off days away. Like, I was sitting up there today like, oh my goodness, man. Yeah, it get to the point where you just get tired of being there. But I'm finna go on vacation. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I just extended it. So I'm good. Whew, boy. So his grace is sufficient. He sent me to tell you that. He sent me to tell you that. Believe in yourself. Visualize and make the life that you want come to be. I'm gonna try to make another video. Just know that His grace is sufficient for you. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. Don't trust in man. Trust in the Most High. And I will see you on the next video.